Is your best? This is definitely not the right room story. In-laws, husband and I thought we were late for a funeral. We sat in the back and then we hear. Now let us commend the soul of our friend, Dave. Who the fuck is Dave? My mother-in-law. Oh no. Wrong funeral. We had to pretend we were crying to hide the laughter. Sorry Dave. We are so sorry. Back when my husband and I lived in an apartment complex, the nearest dumpster was 2 buildings away, so every time I took the trash out I'd have to walk past our building and 2 others. Well, one night I threw the trash in the dumpster and started walking back, but I guess I must have been lost and thought about something and wasn't paying a whole lot of attention. I got to the building, went up the stairs, and approached the apartment door. I remember thinking something was weird because I had just swept off the landing, but the broom I had leaned against the wall was gone as well as our doormat. I didn't think too much on it, thinking maybe my husband grabbed them after I left. Whatever. I open the door and my eyes immediately fall on these 2 kids sitting in the floor watching TV. I don't have kids or know anyone who has kids this age. Mom and dad are sitting on the couch. I, a white male, just walked into an African American family's apartment and I just froze. Seconds went by that just felt like hours and everyone just kind of looked at me uncomfortably and I think all I could say was oh no in the smallest voice before backing out and closing the door. We were all in shock. Remember freezing again on the other side of the door, hands still on the knob, holding my breath. Just listening and being terrified of what their reaction would be. Then I just hear them all start laughing at the same time and an immediate wave of relief hits me and I head back to my apartment laughing so hard I was crying. I was surprised that they didn't keep their door locked, but they probably did after that. My ex-father-in-law had a heart attack. I give his name at the nurse's station and she gives me the room number and tells me it's bed number 2, by the window. So, I go into the room and hear a soft voice from behind the curtain saying a prayer. Nothing unusual, as the in-laws were quite religious. I slip in and don't immediately recognize anyone but figure it's because they've all got their heads bowed. When the prayer is over, I very softly said sorry I'm late. Only to have 4 strangers raise their heads and turn to look at me. Then I look at the man in the bed. He's very obviously dead and also very obviously not my Phil. I apologized and ran back out. Turns out this person had the same last name as my Phil and same first initial. Was at university, had only been there like a month or so was still getting used to where everything was. I had a physics lecture, and vaguely knew where to go, but there was a queue right up the staircase so I stood at the bottom where there happened to be 2 people I knew from my course so I thought cool I'm in the right place. Eventually the queue started to move up so we followed them into a lab, but I was sure we had a lecture, nothing practical. Anyway we put lab coats on and took a handout. Then realized we were in a final year microbiology lab practical and our physics lecture had started like 10 minutes ago down the corridor. Quickly threw the coats back on the rack, grabbed our stuff and ran out of there. I wonder what kind of bacteria we'd have been dealing if we stayed and no one noticed we were in the wrong room. Back in 2nd grade we were working on computers, learning to type, etc. Well one day I went to the bathroom during class and back to the main room to grab my notebook cause I forgot it. On the way back I got distracted and confidently walked into the wrong classroom. Didn't look up, didn't greet anyone because we were supposed to be quiet, just walked over to my seat and sat back down. I thought someone was pranking me because my laptop was gone. After looking under the desk I finally looked up to a whole classroom of students and a teacher looking like me like a weirdo. That was when I realized that I was in the class next door. I got up, walked out, moved to a remote village for 20 years because there was no way I could show my face at that school again. It was my first year as a teaching assistant for my university while I was completing my master's degree. I was one of several grad students who taught speech 101, 3 sections of 24-ish college freshmen. At the time I had met 2 of my sections and was waiting to start my 3rd section in the afternoon. The 2nd year grad TAs had given me loads of advice on how to handle the first day and so far it had gone well. Unfortunately, I somehow missed that they altered my room location at the last minute on Sunday night, as could happen but no one in my department had experienced it. So I went to the room I had last been assigned and was waiting in the hall with my students, just shooting the breeze waiting for the class to end in the room. Now I was quite young having just graduated with my bachelor's several months prior to this so many people just thought I was a student. So it's our turn to enter and I take my place up at the front, get logged into the computer, get my notes out, syllabus, textbook etc. Then these students smack down their big old textbooks and graphing calculators. At first I thought, well maybe they're just overly prepared for this class. Then I asked a few of them, so excited for the semester? Which one replied, yeah, this will be my third time taking this class though, which caught me off guard cause it's speech 101 right. At this point the real instructor comes in and is like, hey, this is advanced, insert science course here, I think you're in the wrong class. By that point I'm fucked cause it's 5 after, which is an unspoken rule, is the time students can bail on a TA without consequence. I frantically check my phone for the new room assignment and thankfully, they just moved my class to the basement of the same building. Great first impression with my class, and it's the first thing I told them upon entering the right room. We all laughed, and to this day is still my favorite section of speech I've taught. I was playing football, soccer for Americans, in PE in school. One of the lads accidentally kicked the ball over the fence, so I ran to get another one from the store cupboard. From the outside of the building there is 3 doors. The boys' changing room exit, the girls' changing room exit, and one that we'd never seen opened. As I was in the store cupboard with a spare football and was desperate to get back out and carry on playing, my brain associated the other door in the store cupboard to the unopened exit. However, for some reason, it was a door leading into the girls' changing room. I burst in and luckily for me it was quite empty with only about 5 girls left in there, as it was midway through the lesson and most of the girls were in their lesson. I didn't even really see anything of note. I saw long hair in my peripheral vision and instantly shut the door and kinda whispered, oh shit, sorry. Managed to notice that one of the girls was my all-time crush and the others were her mates, who were all kind of the nice, cute, quiet type of girls, yet I don't think many of them really liked me for some reason. I ran back out onto the yard with the ball shitting bricks about what would happen after. I don't know if they even knew/seen it was me or whether they told anyone or talked about it, but I never heard anyone speak of it, so I kinda got lucky, I'd say. When I was I think 9 or 10 I went to an underground cavern. The cavern's upper part was just this huge building with cafe, long ticket lines, tons of bathrooms, and even small inside restraints plus a Subway and Dunkin' Donuts. But that was all supposed to be before you went down, so I guess they may have gone a little overboard. So anyway, the tavern is split into 2. One side is a little longer than the other, but both sides have a tour length of 2 hours. When me and my family ended up like 5th in line I had to use the bathroom. The bathroom was right next to the line, so I ended up using the bathroom. Well, when I got out of the bathroom my mom told me to hurry up, because we were next. I saw the man check my ticket, then I followed my mom to the stairs to go down. I thought maybe she had bought special tickets or something because everyone else got to use the elevator down. Wasn't wondering at first why my dad and brother weren't with me, but I was wondering why I had to take the stairs. Once we got to the bottom of the stairs I asked my mom why we had to take the stairs and why dad and my brother weren't with me. The lady turned around and it wasn't my mom, it was some woman with the same hair as my mom. She was shocked to see me, but she asked where my parents were and I ended up saying that they weren't here. Skeptical, she brought me back up to the lobby and explained that the stairs I took were for maintenance employees only. TBH, I do not remember it looking like a maintenance worker's part of the cavern, mainly because there were very few lights and as far as I can remember she was the only souls down in there. My parents canceled the tour to look for me in the actual building part, and my parents were upset that I could be so ignorant. A really tall dude, was sitting in my car at an intersection when this random woman gets in, starts rummaging through her purse talking about things she is doing that day. I'm sitting there looking at her in bewilderment, not really knowing what's going on. Then she looks up at me and sort of whispers, holy shit. Turns out she was trying to get in her boyfriend's car, which was the same color as mine and I guess was running on autopilot. I started laughing and looked over at him, who thought it was all pretty funny, and she just scurried off and apologized. The high school I went to freshman year, they didn't tell us where the health room was. After asking a bunch of other clueless freshmen where it was and getting I have no idea, my middle school brain just assumed it was in the main gym. I didn't have my glasses, so the kids on the bleachers were blurry and I thought I saw someone I knew. Upon closer inspection, I had no idea who she was and everyone was staring at me, so I just sat down. I saw my older brother in the bleachers staring at me and realized I had no idea where I was. Luckily, the gym teacher was cool and showed me where the basement was.